Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the We Call Bank podcast. I want to say this is like episode 19.
Yep.
I think. So we're going to be running it back here. We're going to be talking about the Super Bowl. Chiefs obviously getting the W there. We're going to be talking about who we think is going to win the NBA three-point contest. We're also, scratch that. Go back to the NFL. We're going to be talking about the Kelsey, Andy Reid situation, three-point contest, who we think is going to win, and then also who we think is going to win the dunk contest. Nobody cares who's going to win the All-Star game. Let's just keep it real.
Paul George is in it.
Paul George is in it, so he can be happy about that. But talking about the what?
Larry's in it.
Oh, Lori Marketing. Shout out AJ, baby. Larry Marketing.
Larry.
But anyways, so starting off with the NFL, we're going to talk about the Chiefs obviously winning the Super Bowl. Patrick Mahomes getting his third ring. Now there's a lot of discussions about GOAT talks. We're not going to actually we'll say something about that after we talk about just the game in general. But Chiefs get it done. Was a close game all the way to the end. I figured it would be a close game all the way to the end, but I did pick the Chiefs. You know, I had a lot of back and forth going into my head, but every time somebody asked me, I said Chiefs. Now, at the beginning of the season when we did this podcast, I said 49ers all the way, and I want to say I even said they were winning, but I had the Dolphins in the Super Bowl. And, how the Chiefs were playing in the regular season was looking a little skittish, but I knew when they got to the playoffs, Mahomes always shows up in the playoffs, so he got all the way to the chip, and me personally, I'm not betting against Mahomes. So, Chiefs get it done. Do you got any comments about the game?
All right. First off, with Taylor Swift, all right. No, I'm just kidding. All right, that's clickbait. All right, so basically, here's how I feel about the game. All right, this is gonna sound crazy, and maybe it's just because I'm biased because I wanted the 49ers to win. I mean, I didn't care genuinely because you know what I mean. 49ers, they're in my division, so why would I care for them to win? And Chiefs, they got Patrick Mahomes. Why would I care for them to win? So it just didn't matter either way to me. But I wanted the 49ers to win. So it felt like the 49ers played better defense than the Chiefs did to me just because the stops they were getting. I guess because how I was looking at it was they were getting more stops as far as like they weren't letting them get down the field as much as the Chiefs were letting the 49ers per se. I don't know. That's just how I was looking at it. Plus, Bosa was playing crazy. Like that boy was just hounding him. You know what I mean? He was. You could tell he was trying his best. Purdy, he didn't. You know what I mean? He didn't play too bad, but I feel like there could have been a few plays that could have been readjusted for him. My biggest problem with it is the overtime. Okay, I understand why we changed it, and I kind of like that we changed it. You know what I'm saying? But my biggest problem is the fact that they said they wanted ball first, and then they came out and said, oh, well, we didn't know that there was a change in the rules.
Juszczyk went back and said that they were informed about it before the game.
Yeah, so that's my problem.
Honestly, I don't even buy into any of that because they knew. All the players knew.
Yeah, that's my problem, though, is the fact that they're saying, I didn't know anything about it, and I didn't know blah, blah, blah. And then later on you hear them say, oh, well, we wanted ball first because we wanted to be the ones to get in on the third possession. Like, bro, that's two different stories. Which one are you telling us? And obviously everybody knew they lied on the first one because the ref explained before the actual coin toss. Hey, bro, this is how it is, blah, blah, blah. I heard it with my own ears. So how Fred Warner not hear it? How Shanahan not hear it? You know what I mean? Like, what are we talking about? And so I don't know, bro. I just didn't really like how that played out. I knew as soon as they didn't score that first possession, it was game over. Like you give it to Patrick Mahomes down in a stretch like that, he's scoring, bro. So I mean, obviously that sucked a little bit, but hey, congrats to Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes.
I agree with that, with what Dallas said about the whole defense. Both teams are playing really good defense all around. The 49ers, I definitely felt like they were getting more stops within like the first set of downs. The Chiefs seemed like they would let the Niners get to like midfield and then they would end up stopping them. But the Niners against the Chiefs, it did feel like they were stopping them earlier in the drives. But when it mattered the most, Chiefs would get that big play or, that big 15-yard gain, whatever the case may be, which it's crazy that they got that big bomb to Mecole, I think, and then they end up fumbling. Pacheco ends up fumbling. If they would have scored on that play, I think it would have been like a totally different game, as in like the Chiefs might have beat them by 2 scores, because obviously the Niners had their fumble, I think, and then or either turnover or downs or something, and then the Chiefs go down, get that big play. But all around, I think it was an entertaining game. A lot of people said the first half was boring, but me personally, like if I can tell like the teams are, it's a low scoring game because the teams are actually playing good defense, then like I don't mind. I don't consider that boring. But if it's boring, like the quarterback can't throw a ball accurately, and that's the reason the game's 3-3, like that's different. But I felt like both teams were playing good defense. I don't feel like Purdy played bad at all. I don't really remember any throws where I was like, he's just not getting the ball where it needs to be. It was more like he just didn't have time to set his feet and throw the ball, which is kind of the same thing with Mahomes. Before they got to overtime, I wasn't really sure if the Chiefs won if I would have gave Mahomes the MVP. But after the overtime, I mean, 300 yards, he did his thing. Definitely deserved it. But before that, I was kind of like, okay, I mean, he's doing enough to keep him in the game, but it never felt like he was like taking over the game. But after, when he got to overtime, I felt like he started taking over the game, especially kind of near the end of the fourth quarter. So Patrick Mahomes wins Super Bowl MVP. Now he has 2 of them, I think. Or does he have all 3? I think he has 2.
Yeah, I think he has.
I think maybe
2.
What does Tyreek have one, or Chris Jones, or I don't know who has the other one. But Dallas might look that up. But yeah, 2 Super Bowl MVPs, 3 rings. Obviously, a lot of people are trying to debate, trying to compare him and Tom Brady. If Mahomes wins another ring and gets another Super Bowl MVP, or even like a regular season MVP, like I'll consider it. But 7 rings to 3 right now, I can't compare it. Now, if you're going to tell me like you think at Mahomes' peak he's better than Brady was at his peak, I might agree with you. That's me personally. I might agree with you because Mahomes gets it done, man. You can say what you want about him, but at the end of the day, he knows how to get the job done, just like how Brady knew how to get the job done. But like, if you're wanting a complete quarterback, Mahomes is the complete quarterback. He's got the arm, he's got the accuracy, he's got the wheels. Brady obviously knows the offense, can control the offense, had an arm in his prime, and he can read the defense, but he never really had the legs. Which, I mean, some can say he had the legs when he needed them, but as far as like a complete quarterback at their peak, I'm taking Mahomes. That's just me. But
bro, okay, hold on. I would say talent-wise, yeah, but we can't say at peak. I mean, Brady had an undefeated season. You know what I'm saying? Like Mahomes.
Didn't he not go all the way? Didn't he lose in the playoffs?
I think he ended up losing. I think he lost the championship.
He had an undefeated regular season.
Yeah, the dude's a dog. Yeah, I mean, we ain't seen Mahomes with it, all right?
We know you can't have an undefeated team unless your whole team is good. So,
I mean, he did have Randy. You know what I'm saying? So, but that's a wash, Randy.
Like I'm saying, at their peaks, I'm taking Mahomes. You're telling me that the teams that Brady has, none of them were – that the teams that the Chiefs had were better than the teams that Brady had?
You saying, wait, the teams that the Chiefs had were better
do you
than
think the teams that Brady's had when he's won his Super Bowls are worse or better than the teams that Mahomes has had? This team that he had now, offensively, come on.
Wait, you can say that, but he still did have the best tight end.
Kelsey, yes.
That a lot of people
Kelsey,
say
yes, I agree.
the game.
I agree.
Yeah.
But he ain't got no Edelman. He ain't got no. He ain't got no Amendola.
Brady made Edelman. Okay, let's not act like Edelman was insane. Edelman was a backup quarterback.
Josh Allen made Stephon Diggs. Kirk Cousins made Justin Jefferson. Do we want to go down the list here? Like, what are we doing?
Justin Jefferson was a star receiver, and he was going to be a star receiver.
What are we doing?
No, Edelman was a whole different. Edelman had no kind of like.
Bill made Edelman. I'll let you have that.
Who did?
Bill Belichick. Without Bill, Edelman is never on that team.
Yeah, that is 100% true. Okay. But without Brady, Edelman would not have went as good
without
as
Edelman,
he did.
Brady would have not been as good.
Brady was just as good with Wes Welker.
Wes Welker was really good. Like, what are we talking about?
I'm just saying. Yeah, he had good receivers, but we can't fault him for that.
I'm not arguing with nobody that says this person made this person or that person made that person, because to me that's just untrue. I mean, if that was the case, then Joe Blow on the practice squad would have been doing the same thing, and they'd have been like, okay, we don't even need to pay Edelman any money.
Yep.
Okay,
I mean, Edelman was
okay.
skilled. I'm not sitting here saying he was a bum.
That's all I'm saying.
But I'm saying he would not have had the opportunities he had if it wasn't for Bill, but if it also wasn't for
Edelman
Brady.
didn't make that catch, they wouldn't have a Super Bowl ring. He wouldn't have a Super Bowl ring.
I mean, you could go a lot of ways about that. Like, for instance,
that catch literally is the reason we lost the game.
Oh, okay, but you could still go a lot of ways about that. There's a lot of like, oh, if this person didn't do this, if this person didn't do this.
Yeah, but that catch single-handedly, if he drops it, is a turnover on downs.
Yeah. So, yeah, but like I said, there's a lot of situations. There's a lot of fourth down situations.
Edelman's the one that caught it, so that's why I'm bringing up that situation.
Okay, yeah, Edelman. I'm not saying he's a bad. You got like I'm saying. Oh, he's trash.
You said he made him, which infers that without him, he's not good.
No. He made him as in he made him great. Like
I don't think people consider him great though.
He was a great receiver in my eyes.
Okay, that's all I need to hear.
I think Edelman was a great receiver.
Okay, but how many people, when you hear any conversations about receivers, do they bring up Julian Edelman?
I mean,
Never.
I'm not sitting here saying, okay, Edelman is top 5 receivers of all time. I'm saying he was a great receiver.
Okay, I'm just saying I don't think people say he's great. I don't like when you hear great receivers.
You were just talking about how good he was.
He
That's
was
the reason
really
we're
good.
talking about.
But I don't like the he made him, she made him, they made him. That's the reason he's good conversation. I don't like that. That's just my opinion. But
I understand that. I can understand that. But that's just I don't know. Me personally, I just look at it as if there was not a Brady.
If you've said he made him better, okay, I'll take that.
Okay,
statement.
he made him better. Yeah,
All right, he made
definitely.
him better. Okay.
But I'm not trying to say he's
But
only
you
good.
said he made him, so that makes it
Yeah,
sound
I
like.
wasn't. My bad. I wasn't trying to
Homie
say
was
he's
trash.
only good because of Brady. I wasn't trying to say that. I'm
Okay.
just saying
I'll allow
Brady gave him, as good as he was, it was also because he had the great quarterback of Tom Brady. You see what I'm saying? Just like a lot of people, you know what I mean? Like there's a lot of receivers that wouldn't be as good as they are. I mean, a good receiver can make a bad quarterback look good, and a good quarterback can make a bad receiver look good. You see what I'm saying?
To an extent.
Yeah. So theoretically, I'm just trying to put that out there. And I mean, yeah, Tom Brady has some great teams. He did. He's always basically had a great defense. Even whenever, he went to the Bucs, I mean, he still had a great defense. So,
Yep.
I mean, yes, he had a great defense. We can't fault him for that. But, excuse me, the offense runs through him. I mean, offense always runs through a quarterback. I mean, that ain't even an argument. We ain't gonna.
I agree that you have to have a good quarterback. Period.
Okay, and you know what I mean. 7 Super Bowls. I'm just saying there's a lot of teams that were great, and there's a lot of teams that had a lot of talent. And for instance, this year's Dolphins is one of them. The Bills are one of them. There's a lot of teams that just have talent. And Brady was able to accomplish with a little bit less talent than what those teams have now. Like, bro, I understand that they had Gronk, but, like, personally, if you're giving me an offense, like
they had Gronk and Edelman and Welker and Moss. He had two weapons.
But I think he only had
really
Moss
good weapons
for 1 year.
Yeah, but he's had 2 really good weapons like on offense every time. You can't tell me like Rashee Rice is in his second year or maybe his first year. So like you can't really say anything about that. Because I don't even know if he broke 1,000 yards. Kelsey, okay, I'll give you that, but I don't even know if he was there in the playoffs because I never saw him. So, yeah, I agree that Kelsey, I'll give him that weapon, and I'll agree that Pacheco. I think Pacheco's an above-average running back. He did fumble, and I was saying after he fumbled the second time, I was like, bro, can we get Clyde in? Because I think Clyde is really good, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah, Clyde did have one really good possession for them that got him a really, really clutch first down after the second fumble from Pacheco. That I was like, Missy was she was cheering on Pacheco because she wanted the Chiefs to win, and she's like, well, boy, give it to that person every time. And I was like, yeah, that's Clyde, that's the backup. I told you they're going to end up putting him in because, bro,
I thought they were, and they just never really did, but.
Yeah, I'm not trying to hate on Patrick Mahomes. I'm not trying to. It's just how I see things. Okay, I don't get into the basketball GOAT debate that much, but how I see things is everybody wants to bring up rings. Everybody wants to bring up this, like, oh, Michael Jordan 6 championships. Like, no, if you're talking about rings, obviously go to Bill. All right. So, in theory, if y'all want to go by rings and success, in my eyes, you got to go to Tom Brady. Patrick Mahomes is not even at half of Tom Brady's rings yet.
Well, I mean, the argument with LeBron and Jordan is Jordan went, 6 times, won all 6, didn't lose one.
Yep, but the thing is...
So, LeBron has been to, 9?
Yes.
And he's lost, what?
I think he's actually been to 10. And
10.
he's lost.
What is he, 4 and 6?
He only has 4 wins.
So that's the argument. Like, Jordan only went there 6 times, but he won all of them. So that's the argument.
But the problem with that argument in my head is if you only went there 6 times.
But he did retire, 2 years in his prime. So
that's his own fault. Genuinely, that's his own fault. I think he had didn't he have 15 seasons? All right, if he had 15 seasons, that means there's 9 seasons.
Think about LeBron taking out, I don't know what age it was where Jordan left. Take away, if LeBron won a championship in those 2 years, the same 2 years that Jordan was out. What is the numbers
but that's
there?
my point. That is Jordan's fault in itself. Who do you think is the GOAT?
In basketball?
Yeah.
I don't 1A, 1B. I don't really get into the Jordan and LeBron debate, even though I've said Jordan multiple times just because of the mentality. But I never got to watch Jordan, so I can't really say that. I can't really say anything because I'm watching highlights. I'm watching clips. If I watch just LeBron clips and I never watch LeBron, I might think he's walking on water. So that's my my thing about it. If I'm going my GOAT, like you always say Kobe, you got to watch a little bit of Kobe.
Mm-hmm.
So for us, saying Kobe is valid. Yep. But as far as the debate goes, I think going 6 times and winning all 6 to me means more to me than the player that's been there 10 times and has only won 4. Because
LeBron's been to 10, right? Yeah.
So to me, winning 6 straight at all the ones you went to is to me that's greatness. You know what I'm saying? Because to get there, which LeBron did get there with that terrible Cavs team, but also who are the teams that he beat to get there? He beat the Celtics, I think, at one point, and they had Isaiah Thomas. And that team was just
okay, I know what you're talking about now.
Not good around him, and he was hurt. So, what comp did he really have to go through to get there and get 4-1? You know what I'm saying? He got there, but you didn't really put up a fight.
You made it to the playoffs. You beat at least 2 different playoff teams that had already beat other playoff teams.
Were those teams actually good, though?
And then you beat the other.
That's the whole conversation of the East is trash, the West is where all the comps at. That's where all that came from, and it was pretty true. West. And it was pretty true.
It was absolutely true. LeBron made the East. And
you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. But if I'm weighing something, going to 6, winning all 6, never losing one, to me that's next level kind of stuff.
Yeah, I don't like either of them. I mean, it ain't nothing against them. I just. You know what I mean? LeBron, personally, you go to 10 and you only win 4. You know what I'm saying? And then Michael Jordan, like I said, you're supposed to be the greatest of all time. You're supposed to just get your butt-hurt feelings. Did you get hurt over some role player saying something to you anytime during any game, and you're like, I took that personal. And then you just go crazy and all this. And I don't care nothing about that. If you're the best and you want to act like the best, be the best and win every season, okay? But Kobe?
So if you play 20 years, you got to go to the chip and win it 20 years.
Respectfully.
So you're saying, I don't know. Anyway, it depends what you're making the GOAT debate about. And like I said, if we're just going straight up, I'd probably say Jordan because going to 6 and winning 6 straight. And if we're going off of rings, then he has more rings, right? So what are we talking about?
Yeah, but we can't go off rings. Because if we go off rings, we'll go Bill.
Then what are we going off of? Because that's the question.
I hope somebody watches this and comments and says, hey, I heard that your GOAT was Kobe. And then they comment and say, bring it up next week and we'll talk about it. Because if I talk about it right now, we're going to be talking for another 40 minutes. I ain't going to lie. But we can talk about whatever you want. Or we can keep talking about this. But
so I ain't
going to bring up my Kobe thing.
We'll move on. Anyways, we'll move on to. I don't know why we're on the NBA. Dallas had to bring up comparing Mahomes and Brady to
because of rings.
Jordan. So let's go back to the NFL for a second. Andy Reid situation. Kelsey's yelling at him on the sideline after the play that Pacheco fumbles. All right, so Mahomes bombs it to Mecole. Pacheco runs the ball the next play. Travis Kelce is not in on the play. Pacheco fumbles. 49ers recover. Pan to the sideline. Travis Kelce, helmet off, yelling at Andy Reid. I don't know if he pushed him or just bumped him. I don't know if you actually got to see that. But yeah, straight up yelling in Andy's face. Andy's just sitting there like listening to it. And I think Andy said right after the game, he said that Travis was saying, like, I'm built for this. Don't take me out, or something of that. Obviously, Travis went on the podcast, said it was wrong, apologized for it, and said his actions weren't. I can't think of the word I'm trying to think of. But anyways, basically saying he shouldn't have done what he done, or shouldn't have done what he did. And it's like I was telling my dad. They've been playing together for this long. They obviously have respect for each other. They both want to win. Now, was it over the line? Yes. But I don't think Andy Reid took it as threatening, like, you know what I mean? Like, I think it was a brotherly thing. They've been together that long. I don't know why people are blowing it out of proportion, personally. It happened. Like I said, if they lost the game, I'm sure it would be blown up even more. People were saying, is Kelsey going to be back with the Chiefs next year? Ooh. But we won't hear about that now because they won. But I think they're blowing it out of proportion. It happened. Things were heated. He wanted to be in on the play. I don't know if he wanted to be in just to, like, he wanted to be blocking because he felt like he would have got a good block. I don't know why he was mad. I don't know if he's mad because that he wanted to get the ball in the end zone, like he wanted to run a route, and they ended up running the ball. I wasn't there. But like I said, I think they blew it out of proportion. Everything's going to be fine. People are taking it too far.
Bro, here's how I feel about it. All right, respectfully, I mean, the thing is, wow, I see some people are like, oh, yeah, you know, people don't understand, you know, playing an actual sport and stuff like that. You know, you're passionate and all this other stuff. I get that, and I can see where people are coming from. But at the same time, respectfully, if these same people that are commenting that, if you was to walk up to your coach at any moment, like even if it's basketball, football, you was to walk up to your coach, you yell in his face, and touch him in any kind of manner, respectfully, you're either getting subbed or they're telling you to leave the gym. Respectfully.
In what did you say?
In anything. Basketball. I guess not leave the gym in football. But in football, they'll tell you to leave the field. Respectfully. I'm just being honest. I mean, look at what happened with Antonio Brown. I think
it's different because of how the physicality of football, the temperament of football, like, I don't think you can compare it to basketball or baseball or any other.
I see that, but I'm saying, no, just from a player to coach standpoint, if you are yelling at a coach, no coach is realistically going to stand for that. And any level, any level that you take it, I don't care, pro or very, very, very amateur, like no coach is really going to take that. But like you said, they played for each other, or he played for him for so long. You know, he was obviously with Jason for a while. He knew Travis for a very, very long time. Travis knew him for a very, very long time. They have love for each other. Eddie didn't take it to heart. Everything was fine. But my problem is, why in the world are you even mad and yelling at him for a Pacheco mess up? This is on Pacheco. Like, for any situation, all Pacheco had to do was hold the ball. And whether it got punched out, I don't remember how it happened, whether it got punched out or he just let go or whatever happened. That's a Pacheco thing, okay? Realistically, every coach takes out their play, and that's what I explained to Misty. Every coach takes out their players after so many plays, just so that you can get a rest. And that's what Andy Reid did. He took out Travis Kelce so he could get a rest, because I don't know if they go by how many plays, like you can only run so many consecutive plays in their game plan or something, and then they want to sub you out so you can get a rest, or if you just make I know usually if you make a really big play, they'll sub you out the next play so that way you can get a breather. But, bro, Travis, you know what I mean? What were you realistically going to do? Because either way, they were going to still call the same play. Either way, it was still going to get to Pacheco. It's the same thing. Unless you were just going to hold a different block, you know what I'm saying? I just don't see the whole reason of him blowing up like he did. But it ain't no big deal to me. I'm not going to cry about it like all these other people who are like, oh, my God, look at him. He's so disrespectful. He's a walking red flag. Like, bro, I don't even want to get on that. That's that Taylor Swift stuff right there. But we can talk about what you want.
I do agree with him. I think they probably pulled him out because, they wanted to rest him. But I don't know. Secondly, obviously he didn't have to yell at him like that, but they probably couldn't hear each other on the sideline in general. So you got to yell for them to be able to hear each other. Because when you're in a stadium like that, especially in the Super Bowl, you probably can't hear the person standing beside you unless you're yelling, for one. So he probably didn't have to yell that loud, but you probably have to yell for somebody to hear you. I don't know. People were taking it too far. Like, I was reading some comments, and I mean, the people that are commenting have probably never played sports in their life, which I haven't. I haven't played for an organized team or anything. But, like, you see stuff like that all the time. You see arguments all the time. Usually you see the players on the bench arguing with their offensive coordinators and defensive coordinators yelling at each other. So that stuff kind of happens. You hardly ever see it with a head coach, but I'm sure Andy's calling the offense. So, anyway, you get the point. Moving on. So now we're going to talk about who we think's going to win the three-point contest, and my boy Trae Young's in it. So I really can't, which I think he's going to win it regardless. But I'm going to pick Trae Young, no bias. Obviously, I like the Hawks, so I'm going to go with Trae Young. We got who in it? We got Curry, Lillard, Cat,
I don't think Curry's in it,
Brunson.
actually.
Is he not?
I don't think he is. I think it's, like you said, Cat,
Brunson, Young, Lillard.
Lillard. I think Malik is
you say
in
Marketing's in it?
Yeah, Marketing's in it.
Who else?
Halliburton was in it.
Halliburton, yeah, he is in it.
Yeah, Malik is in it. Halliburton.
Malik Beasley?
Yeah, Beasley. Lurie's in it. Donovan Mitchell, Cat, and Trae Young.
So I got my money on Trae Young. I think he's going to hit the deep shot. So is Lillard. But Trae, actually, I'm pretty sure there's like a stat as far as like three-point percentage from like a certain distance. He's higher than Curry and Lillard at those shots. So that's all I'm going to say. I got Trae Young.
I think he won it last year, but I'm gonna go with Dame again. I just
one of those two.
Yeah,
sure.
he's a dog. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan. Obviously, being a Paul George fan, I'm not the biggest fan. I feel like such a hater. There's so many.
You dislike a lot of players for no reason.
There are reasons behind each one.
You take little things too serious,
bro. To comment on somebody's Instagram post and say you're running from the chase, or you're running from the grind or whatever, and then to turn around. So you'd rather him
just think that and never say it out loud?
Huh?
So you'd rather him just think that and never say it out loud? He can't be a man and say what he's
thinking. I would rather you not say, hey, you're running from the grind, and then turn around and literally just
like 2 years
later.
Blazers his whole career.
Okay.
And he went to the Bucks. Okay. Paul George has been on 3 different teams.
The difference is Paul George. Okay. Here's my problem with that. Paul George, whenever he went to the different team. Okay, hold on.
We've been through this 40 times, but we'll let him roll through this again.
Hold on. All right. Damian Lillard, when he left, it was different. He was being a little wuss about it, and he was just like, I just want to go to he didn't even want to go to the Bucks. Let's throw that out there. He didn't want to go to the Bucks. He wanted to go to the Heat. And I don't even know why he wanted to go to the Heat. That was random. I mean, I know they made it to the finals or whatever, but, like, still, that didn't mean they had another shot at it. And, I mean, it's just that was random. He wanted the Heat and nothing but the Heat. His agent made a big deal about it. It was like a whole crybaby situation after he literally just said, oh, yeah, Paul George, you're running from the grind. Now he's wanting to switch teams and then wanting a specific team, all right? And then on top of that, then he goes to the Bucks. So Paul George, on the other hand, he was with the Pacers for a good minute, for about like 7 or 8 years, something like that. So that's a good amount of time. Didn't get what he needed out of, drafts or trades or anything like that. What help did he really have?
So the Blazers got what they needed out of the trades and stuff, even though Lillard was there for how many years? 12 years?
They had a great shooting guard.
Oh, my gosh. Tell me one team that has won the finals when their 2 best players are their point guard and their shooting guard. I don't think it's ever happened.
I can tell you one with a shooting guard and small forward.
All right, that's all I got to say.
Hold on.
It never works out. Which is why I wasn't too hype about the DeJounte and Trae thing.
Are you ready to hear one?
Point guards and shooting guards, unless there's 3 good players, unless there's 3 All-Stars on the team, then it can work. But just a point guard and shooting guard, I don't know that it's ever really happened.
The Warriors.
What? When?
Bro, they won their 4th ring without KD.
Curry, Clay, Draymond.
Oh my God, he helps the team. I mean, Aaron Gordon could do the same thing.
The year that they lost to
did.
LeBron because Draymond got suspended. What happened? They folded. We obviously see that Draymond is a very important piece to them winning.
Aaron Gordon could do the same exact thing for that team,
think so.
Except score more than Draymond could. That's just me being. That's just how.
And let's not mistake. Let's not get it twisted. Wiggins is really a big reason why they won.
He's a good reason. Another reason.
He strapped up on defense, and he was scoring. That's all I'm going to say.
All right. So realistically, I mean, let's not get it twisted, all right? Now, they did have good fundamental pieces on their team, all right? Let's throw that out there. But realistically, their best players, like his question was, and I quote, their best players being point guard and shooting guard. Has there ever been any team, their best players, point guard and shooting guard, win a championship? Steph Curry and Klay Thompson have won a championship. They were the best players on that team. Now with KD, okay, you gotta go Curry and KD. You gotta go with Curry and KD. But without them, it's Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. There's no competition. Now, obviously, Draymond is a big thing for the team. Obviously, he can help the team a lot. Obviously, Andrew Wiggins. Obviously, Jordan Poole was really great for the team. But we're talking about best player. And realistically, so for the Trailblazers, hey, you know what I mean? Paul George, he didn't get what he needed from the Pacers after Granger and what's his name left? I don't even remember. What's his name left? After that, he didn't get what he needed. He had years. And so what did he do? He said, hey, I want out of Indiana. I want to go to OKC. So he goes to OKC. What does he do? He has a great 2 years at OKC. MVP caliber and Defensive Player of the Year caliber season. Okay, I understand. Oh, Westbrook. I don't want to hear it. All right, Westbrook, bro. Yeah, he was still great. It was like as soon as he left OKC, something just changed in him. But he was still great. But I mean, Paul George was doing his thing. You see what I'm saying? And then the Clippers. He just wanted his whole career. Okay, let's not get this twisted. His whole career, he wanted to be based in L.A. He wanted to play for a team in L.A. Okay, that's all that he threw out there. Like LeBron wanted Paul George. Kawhi, the Clippers wanted Kawhi, and Kawhi specifically said, if you get Paul George, I will come. Like, you have the man that just won a championship, won Finals MVP coming over here saying, hey, I need Paul George, and then they get Paul George. That ain't Paul George's fault. That ain't had nothing to do with Paul George. So respectfully, I don't know. It's a little bit different. It's like Paul George didn't really do anything wrong. Damian Lillard did.
Are you done?
Yeah, I'm done. I'm just saying.
All right, Dallas is done. Honestly, I don't read too much into it because it's the media saying that Lillard only wanted to go to the Bucks. So I don't read too much into it. I mean, only wanted to go to the Bucks. Only wanted to go to the Heat. So he got traded to the Bucks. I'm sure there was multiple teams that he was fine going to, but it had to be a contender. And I'm sure they said, do you want to go to the Bucks? And he agreed because he's been there in Portland that long. They're not going to do something without him okaying it. So that's my opinion on it. And if he wanted to stay, Portland would have kept him, I'm pretty sure. So me personally, I don't read too much into it. Paul George went to 3 different teams. Obviously, there was no rumors out that he wanted to go to this particular team. Blah, 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 forcing him way out. But we don't know what the conversations happen in the back. We don't know if the OKC head front office is so, locked tight that, okay, he said he wanted to go to the Clippers, and it just never came out because it never got leaked. So we don't really know what has been said behind closed doors. We don't know anything. So I'm not going to judge a player by, okay, he's been to 2 teams. Paul George has been to 3 teams. He forced his way out. Just like Paul George wanted to trade, Lillard wanted to trade. Blazers weren't good. They're trying to draft rookies. Why wouldn't he want to leave? I don't get what the problem is in him leaving. And why would he leave and want to go to a bad team? So what does it matter that he told them, I want to go to the Heat? Heat just been to the finals. Why would he not want to go to the Heat? Why is it a problem?
One specific team is crybaby.
Well, where's he at now? He's on the Bucks. So obviously he didn't go to the Heat. Do you see him crying that he's on the Bucks? No.
The problem isn't that he went to a different team. The problem is that he criticized Paul George and then did the same darn thing. That Paul George did. That's the problem.
He didn't run from the smoke, though. He tried to be in the smoke for 12 years. It didn't work.
Okay, Paul George tried to be in the smoke for 8 years.
And he's still in the smoke. Do you see how much crap they're talking about the Bucks, saying they're going to get swept in the first round? He's still in the smoke. He didn't duck no smoke.
I mean, let's not act like he didn't get freaking all of a sudden one of the best forwards ever to play the game on his team off of just a random trade. You see what I'm saying?
It wasn't no random trade. It was I want to go to a good team. They sent him to a good team. They got pieces that they wanted back.
It's just
period.
No. We're not going to act like this is okay. That he just, that's like me saying, Joey, I hate you because you wear Adidas shoes, and then next week I buy Adidas shoes. What would you think?
I think you're reading too much into it, like normally.
I'm just saying. Would
This
that not be hypocritical?
one thing happens and Dallas just hates that player forever. I don't get it.
Like
But we're moving on. We're moving on. Dunk contest. We got Jamie Jarkees Jr. in there. I don't know how to pronounce his name for sure, but he's a beast. Yeah. And then we got Mac McClung, right? We got Jaylen Brown, and we got who else?
And you got Jacob Toppin.
Jaylen Brown. I feel like Jaylen Brown's gonna bring some heat because he's got some sneaky bounce, but I think I'm gonna go with McClung again.
Give me McClung, bro. He has all this time to do nothing but practice dunks. All right, is he not in the G League, bro?
Yeah, he's still in the G League.
Yes, so he has all this time to do nothing.
That mean he has all the time? They still play games.
They still play games, but it's not as competitive as playing games in the NBA. You see what I'm saying?
It might be more
You're
competitive.
not having to go. You said what?
It might be more competitive. All those guys down there want a chance in the league. You think they're not
They
playing?
want a chance in
You
the
think
league.
they're not playing harder than some of the NBA players are?
No,
That's cap.
no,
That's cap.
no.
I disagree.
I don't think so at all. And the only reason I say that is because
That's the reason why people like college football more than NFL, because they say the players are hungrier
Yes.
because they haven't made it yet.
That
Those
is
G League
true.
players ain't made it yet.
And I think the same thing. But the problem is I think the same thing because they are NFL prospects that are going to actually come into the NFL, those boys that are hungry. These G League players, they had their chance or they're in there because
A lot of them haven't had their chance.
Okay. I'm going to put this out here. Jello was crazy in the G League. He came to the NBA.
I don't know about crazy.
From what I saw, okay, I don't watch G League games. Why am I going to watch that when there's NBA? You see what I'm saying? So I don't
We're going
watch
to cut
G
that
League.
out, but continue.
I don't watch G League. But at the same time, I see what I see on the media. All right. Realistically, I saw Jello was having that. They didn't bring Jello to the NBA for no reason. He had to be doing something good on the G League for him to come to the NBA. I think he had like 38 points a couple times or something like that. Boy came to the NBA. Bro couldn't even. Nothing against Jello, he's a baller, but bro couldn't compete. He just realistically could not compete. He was out there airballing, doing all this other stuff, which, I mean, everybody airballs, but it's just like.
I don't think he ever got a proper chance to get warm. Like, they'd put him in for a game, and then it's like the next 5 games he wouldn't play. So you can't get any kind of rhythm like that. It was a publicity thing.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's hard for me. I feel like if you're in the G League, you have the chance. And the reason I say that is because if you're in the G League, that means you're still playing games. The NBA is exclusively watching you over anything else. They're watching you probably more than they're watching college. And they're scouting you better than they would scout college because there's only so many teams in the G League. And realistically, there's your opportunity right there. You're playing in the G League, you get time, you get minutes. They probably think I got a lazy eye because I keep looking over here, but I don't know. But you got time, you got minutes, all this other stuff. You have your chance, all right? If you don't make it to the NBA, that's okay. It's okay not to make it to the NBA. But like I'm saying about Mac, he's a baller. He can make it to the NBA. Oh, my bad. Mac can make it to the NBA. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I think didn't he get signed to the actual 76ers for like 10 days or something like that?
He played a little bit.
Yeah, he got signed to the 76ers for like 10 days or something like that. He's still balling in the G League, but it's just not as tough competition. It's not as, I don't think personally. Now, then again, I've never been to the G League. I've never been to the NBA. So I just don't think I think he has more time on his hands than the NBA players would. Because I feel like NBA players, like these NBA players, not only are they doing
I'm pretty
NBA's,
sure they have a way shorter season, so.
Yeah, not only does the NBA players have NBA games and stuff like that, which, you know, G League does, but they're also more popular. They also have more things going on as far as ads, as far as interviews, as far as all this other stuff. You know, Matt gets his every once in a while, but those are like overtime type of interviews. You know what I'm saying? That you're pulling up to that court anyways. You're just talking to them. So, I mean, I think he had more time to practice on them, and he's got the bounce that everybody knows he has. So I feel like he could win it.
All right, guys, that is going to do it for this episode of We Call Bank. A lot of interesting conversations that we may have been over before, but we'll catch you in the next one. Episode 19 out. Peace.
Bye.